I bought the house for the pool. That's how these disasters always start, right? You picture yourself sipping lemonade by glimmering turquoise water while Instagram filters do the rest. You don't picture clumps of leaves drifting across stagnant water, so green it could pass for soup. You don't picture algae developing sentience or the mosquito army that claims the deep end as headquarters. But let's rewind. I moved in last summer, clueless and sunburned, staring at my new kingdom of mildew, cracked tiles, and yard overrun by dandelions. And then came Karen. She didn't knock, didn't wave, didn't even fake a smile. Instead, she did this slow-motion lean over the fence, neck craning like an ancient tortoise, sunglasses glinting with what I can only call HOA rage. I felt the temperature drop by 10 degrees the second her gaze hit the pool. That pool, good grief, it really was bad. But in my defense, I was still hunting for my box labeled chlorine stuff maybe, while also looking for plates and toothbrush. Instead of sympathy, I got Karen's silent, soul-piercing glare. She had a folder under her arm. Not a thin folder, either, something you'd expect from an accountant about to audit your whole existence. And silently, like an oracle of doom, she flipped it open and handed over a laminated packet titled something like Proper Pool Maintenance for Decent Human Beings. I don't remember the exact title because I was too busy mentally calculating how many gallons of scum she just judged me for. It turns out Karen is the self-appointed neighborhood greeter, pool inspector, trash bin placement coach, and general fund vacuum. The woman's hobbies include power walking in sandals, silent disapproval, and apparently creating custom spreadsheets about pH levels. And me? Well, my hobbies include procrastination, laziness, and ignoring leafy chaos until it becomes a living biohazard. This was always destined to be a clash of titans. Within days, Karen turned passive-aggressive observation into a competitive sport. She'd appear at the fence, folder tucked under her arm, head cocked just so, gaze laser-focused on any stray leaf daring to touch my sacred, filthy water. It got to the point where I'd see her sandals peeking under the fence line and reflexively feel guilt stronger than anything my parents ever managed. She didn't need words. Her silence carried the weight of 1,000 guilt trips. Once, I fished out a frog corpse with a skimmer, while Karen watched from her fence post like some vengeful statue. Pretty sure I saw the corner of her mouth twitch when I gagged. After a week, she added props. A laminated pool cleaning checklist appeared, mysteriously taped to my gate. Another day, a bright orange friendly reminder about stagnant water attracting mosquitoes, complete with large print CDC warnings. The real kicker? She laminated that too. Because paper, like fun, must never last too long in Karen's kingdom. I'd love to say I fought back, but it turns out shame is powerful. I started half-heartedly skimming the pool at dusk, hoping the cover of night would hide my incompetent swirling. But Karen must have night vision or a sonar system keyed to my regret, because every morning I'd wake up to find a fresh note, usually titled urgent or immediate attention required, taped exactly where I couldn't miss it. One morning, I tried to fight back, or at least appear civilized. I chucked in a double dose of shock treatment and stirred the water with the net like some ancient potion brewer. The water turned slightly less green, which in Karen's world was probably still equivalent to a national crisis. Sure enough, that afternoon she reappeared. No folder this time. Instead, she leaned, tilted her head, and let out a sigh so heavy I'm surprised birds didn't drop from the sky. Then she left. The sigh alone carried more judgment than a jury. By now, my relationship with the pool had evolved. It wasn't a luxury. It was a silent battleground. Every floating leaf was an insult to Karen's sense of order. Every algae bloom was a rebellion I wasn't sure I'd signed up for. And the pool, my dear pool, had developed personality. It waited until Karen was peeking over the fence to bubble suspiciously, or spit up a clump of scum like a burp at the worst possible moment. One evening, in a fit of desperation and dark humor, I stuck a plastic skeleton float in the deep end, positioning it so it bobbed face up, as if screaming, "Help! Even the dead can't escape this pool." Karen arrived at dawn the next day. The way her sunglasses glinted told me she was already writing a complaint to the universe. A new laminated note appeared. Decorations must not obstruct water flow. Because, of course, even the skeleton was violating neighborhood aesthetics. I removed it. I kept the sarcasm. Balance was restored. Months rolled on. My pool became less swampy, thanks in part to guilt-fueled late-night skimming, and also because I feared laminated wrath more than disease. But perfection? Karen's standards for perfection made Martha Stewart, look like a frat house. I'd wake up early to scoop every last leaf. And like clockwork, as if summoned by my anxiety, Karen would appear at the fence, eyes scanning for sins invisible to mortal eyes. One floating insect? Her gaze darkened. Water slightly cloudy? Laminated doom by sundown. Eventually, I had to admit, the pool was winning. It wasn't just water anymore. It was a mirror reflecting my failings. And Karen? She wasn't just a neighbor. She was the keeper of the pool's eternal purity. The Gandalf of algae. Funny thing is, the cleaner the pool got, the more I noticed everything else. A few loose shingles, patchy grass, a mailbox slightly askew. Karen noticed too, obviously, because new notes appeared. Lawn trimming recommendations. Gutter cleaning reminders. A chart titled Holiday Decor. Subtlety is classy. At that point, it hit me. Karen didn't actually hate me personally. She hated entropy. Disorder. Anything that couldn't be laminated, measured, or scheduled. My pool had been her first battlefield. Now, she expanded her campaign. But as much as I complained, part of me understood. Under the sarcasm, the eye rolls, and the groans, there was something comforting about the ritual. The sandals on concrete. The silent nod rare, but it happened. Even the laminated lectures were a kind of weird attention. Proof someone was watching. Proof someone cared about the pool, even if only as a potential eyesore. Then summer hit full blast. The pool water, for the first time, turned clear enough to see the bottom. The tiles, once crusted with scale, now glinted in the sun like they had something to be proud of. Karen showed up, did her over-the-fence lean, scanned every inch, and paused. Her gaze softened, not by much, but enough that I caught it. Then she nodded once, slow and deliberate, as if knighting me into the order of acceptable neighbors. She didn't even leave a laminated sheet that day. It felt like winning an Olympic medal in guilt-fueled pool cleaning. Of course, the next day brought a fresh laminated chart, weekly pH log. Because peace, in Karen's world, is never permanent. Entropy lurks, algae sleeps lightly, and neighbors with pool nets must remain vigilant. Still, I had to admit, the pool did look good. It sparkled. Friends actually swam instead of making swamp jokes. Even the kids next door cannonballed in, no longer fearing mysterious pond monsters. And while I'd never say it aloud, part of me owed that to Karen. Her relentless judgment, laminated guides, and silent fence patrol had done what my own lazy optimism never could. Forced me to actually take care of the stupid thing. Now at sunset, I sit by the pool, water rippling gold and pink. I watch a single leaf float down, and my hand twitches for the net. And like clockwork, sandals appear on the other side of the fence. I raise my head. Karen pauses, scans the water, and nods again. No words needed. The pool is clean. For now. And weirdly I realize that's our language. Chlorine, size, laminated pages, and the occasional, silent nod of grudging respect. So yes, welcome to the neighborhood. Now clean your pool. And don't pretend you don't see your sandals coming.